Alright. Alright. I don't know what happened there. I ended up having to uh restart my OBS, then popped up an update, so I updated it just to be safe that hopefully the update would make it so that the stream would work, because I actually, like, after the stream disconnected because it said there was like the stream key was no longer working for whatever reason, I I went and I tried to start it again and it just wouldn't start. So I closed OBS after like waiting 4 or 5 minutes for the stream to start, and then it said, oh, there's an update. So I was like, you know what, to be safe, I'll update it. So I updated, then started it. It worked fine. So we're back into business. So it's when time for the sun to set. I began to climb the hill. I don't know why, I just felt like it. It's a habit, I suppose. One day, as I was crumpling up an already crumpled piece of paper once more, and staring up at the sky, I was suddenly enveloped in shadow. What was your day like? That was how I first met her. You looked sad, so I decided to talk to you. I'm not bothering you, am I? At the time I felt like she was. I am, aren't I? I thought if I kept quiet, she'd stop bothering me and leave me alone. What are you holding on to? An ARC lottery ticket? I see. But she didn't respond the way I expected. Her family's up there, aren't they? Instead, she placed a flower petal in my hand. If you let the wind carry this, it will eventually reach your family. Wouldn't they prefer a beautiful flower over a scrap piece of paper? The petal fluttered up and away from my hand, and the wind carried it up higher. I stood there blankly for a while, watching it fly away as she sat next to me. I'm Rin. What's your name? For reasons I can't quite explain, even though I had never spoken since coming down the arc. On that day, my lip parted for the first time. Trina. Trina? Trina? Yes? Are you ready? Oh, just a moment. It's just... Seeing these flowers brought me back for a moment. Is everyone ready? Chirp, chirp. Right. We're ready, Flora. Alright. Are you all ready too? Okay. Lilac and Margaret are joining us, and they're ready as well. Now then, shall we begin the tea party? Sounds good. I'm sorry, but I have a question. For us? What is it? Well, Flora places a teacup in front of Mana. Lilac worries that it might be rude to keep a guest waiting without serving them some refreshments. Margaret thinks so as well. Before we hear Aster's question, why don't we serve the drinks first? Would warm water be sufficient for you, Aster? Sure. And you, Trina? Could I please have warm water as well? As for the little ones, they would prefer some cold water, please. And thank you. There we are. Now that we're properly prepared, we can commence our tea party. So what was your question, Aster? It's... What am I doing at your tea party? Oh dear, what a question. We're not making you uncomfortable, are we? That would make me kind of sad. It's not that, but... Wonderful, so there isn't any problem. I came here on business. Had no intention of being involved in a tea party. Aster. The Botanical Garden Squad holds regular tea parties. During these gatherings, we discuss all manners of matters, with plants growing in our greenhouse. However, as you know, Trina and I rarely leave the garden, so we often don't have much to share with the little ones. Very true. Usually it's not a big deal since we have Leaf with us, but she's up on the surface right now, bringing in new little ones. So please, if it's not too much trouble, Could you tell the children about what is going on in the outside world? That's kind of a big question to answer. Lilac and Margaret are curious as well. My little ones also want to know. I'm honestly pretty similar to you guys. I spend all my time in the research lab. I don't have many stories to tell. Today is the first time I've made it out of the lab in a week. Oh. Sigh. Well then, how about we listen to the radio? The only government-approved anti-aging injection in the Ark. Evergreen. Enjoy your youth for longer. Just keep playing the same ad over and over. If I'm not mistaken, the Sovereigns were the only ones who could receive Evergreen. After the first invasion, the Ark's production system wasn't yet fully established. Before the prices eventually stabilized, it was seen as a luxury item only the Sovereigns could afford. However, everyone has easy access to it, which is a good thing. Yes, it's a relief. And we're back. Right now, you're listening to Classic Diva, hosted by me, Noise. In part 2, we will be reading stories from our listeners and playing your song requests. Since the Spring Festa is right around the corner, we gathered some romantic stories related to spring guaranteed to make your heart flutter. We'll be accepting story submissions all the way through the festival. So if you got one, be sure to send it in to the program. Before we read the stories, I will give a brief introduction to the Spring Festa. This year's festival is jam-packed with all sorts of special events. Since we got Miscellaneous, very own Botanical Garden Squad on deck as hosts. Not only will the cherry blossoms from the surface be open to the public, but the Ark's gardens will be available for viewing. So all you can look forward to the... Fleur turns off the radio. Yes, I know, Lilac. This is my first time hearing about this, too. What's that, Margaret? How could they make this kind of decision without telling us? Unfortunately, this world is filled with people who don't consider the thoughts and feelings of others. You'd like to know, too. Well, I'm sorry. Allow me to apologize on their behalf. I was going to mention it earlier, but I originally came here to convey orders from Suin. Lobelia issued orders for us? Yes. In the interest of upholding market shares, Bacillus has secured the rights to run this year's Spring Festa. Botanical Garden is to spare no expense in ensuring the festival's success, including opening the gardens. If Lobelia is the one that arranged this deal, then why is the responsibility being thrust on us? Because it's a festival focused on flowers, which makes you perfect for it. It's not like we'd be able to refuse anyway. Okay then, so for the festi... No, we refuse. Rena, we mustn't open up the garden. We can't. You do realize the consequences of disobeying Suin's orders, don't you? It doesn't matter. What do you mean by that? This is what we can do. The domain which we oversee, divided into 3 sections. My garden, which is filled with flowers, Trina's arboretum, filled with trees, and Leaf's specimen lab, filled with seeds. For the festival, we'll open up my section, and my section only. Will that be acceptable? I'll report back to Suin and let you know. How about you, Trina? Are you okay with that? Yes, thank you, Flora. Good. Now then, Aster, is your work done here? Yes. But there is something personal I would like to speak with you about. With me? Bryn's research lab will be cleared out soon, before the end of the festival. If you left anything important there, you should retrieve it before then. Unless you left everything there intentionally. Oh, it's this music. I believe I actually have this music on my lobby music list. I don't get in trouble for playing this music. As the sun starts to set, I begin my habitual climb up the hill. I must have done it so regularly because of the view. The view of the Ark is beautiful from up there. One day, as I stood on the hill and looked down at the city, I felt a shadow come over me. That's how I first met him. I was wondering where you went. In case you forgot, residency registration is today. What are you doing out here? I know this is the first time we've interacted properly, and I hate coming off as a nag. But let's try to be punctual, okay? So, are you worried about joining our squad? No. Then what are you doing up here, looking so desperate? I realize that you've only done rear support work in the Ark, so the notion of going up to the surface must feel overwhelming. You only became a Nikke towards the end of the Second Surface Reclamation War, so you never had the opportunity to head up to the surface. Don't look so surprised. I'm your commander after all. I should know a bit about your background. Now then, why don't we hang out here together? Mind if I stand beside you, my inexperienced friend? You're not inexperienced, you say? Well, I've certainly spent more time on the surface than you. As he chuckled softly, he stood beside me. I'm Josh Humlet. What's your name? You can call me Leader. So this is Leader's first commander. Credit for your thoughts? Leader? Oh, hey, Senti. I want this skin. When are they gonna bring the skin back? I've been thinking a lot about the past lately. Maybe because it's springtime. Anyway, don't worry about it. It's not that important. Are you done preparing for vacation? Yeah, I know. I know I took a while, but I'm still not sure if I'm happy with my outfit. I'm happy with that outfit. I want that outfit. No, you look great. I know you're just being nice. But even so, thank you for helping me pick out this outfit. Please consider how much you've done for me. It's the least I can do. In fact, correct me if I'm not mistaken. But is this your first vacation? Is it? I guess I've never taken a break since joining Mighty Tools. Since it's your first vacation, what do you plan on doing? I don't really have any plans. I have plenty of time, so I'm going to mull it over. Is that so? Well, I hope you have a great time. Yes, I hope you have a good time as well, Volt. Leader pulls out an old pocket watch and checks the time. I don't want to disrupt business. I should head out soon. Senti, while I'm away, don't forget to keep providing our customers with the best service around. Of course, don't you worry about a thing. We're getting a new shipment of materials and equipment tomorrow, so make sure to give everything a proper once-over. Yes, I'll double and triple check everything. And also, before accepting anything on credit, make sure to confirm the payment deadline first. Don't let people pay without asking any questions, like last time. Oh, and another thing. Leader! Yes? You don't have time for this. Your vacation is getting shorter by the minute. Don't worry about me and get a move on. Start resting already. Oh. Okay. I meant to only mention one thing, but I guess I ended up going on for a while. It's okay. I understand you're only looking out for me. Don't worry. I paid close attention to every single word you said. You said a new request came in, right? Yep. From Rianne. You know, the spring festa that's being held soon? Miss Silas is in charge of the festival preparations. And she asked us to build some facilities to use for the festival. As soon as you leave, we're going to start with construction. This is the first time you've been responsible for a task of this magnitude. That's right. Before this, I've always worked together with you. So I'm both a little worried and a little excited. I promise. I'll do my best to uphold the sterling reputation of Mighty Tools that you've spent your whole life building. Are you sure you'll be fine without me? If you're really worried, I can push back my vacation. Leader, if anyone here is worrying too much, it's you. Relax. Everything will be fine. All I want you to do is to kick back, relax, and get ready to congratulate me on gaining a chance to shine on my own. Alright, you, Bolt, and I can celebrate when I get back. We can have a nice party. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. The Spring Festa, huh? Once the festival starts, there will be crowds of people in most places. Maybe I should visit early and take a peaceful walk along the cherry blossom path. Well, I'll be off. Take care. Let's go, Bolt. There we go. I had my psychiatrist appointment earlier. I actually put on one of my nice button-down shirts for that, and then I'm taking it off because I'm just chilling for the rest of the day. All right. Finally, I have some long-awaited time off. For the moment, I'm ruminating. What should I do? Play some of the video games that are in the library? Binge a show where I can turn my brain off? If not that, then... Actually, even if I spent all day racking my brain deciding what to do, I'll be doing it while lying down in my bed. In fact, that in of itself isn't a bad holiday. You never get a holiday in this game, though. Good thing I woke up early in the morning and hung a note on the door. Like that's gonna work. If there's anything I've learned from the recent past, it's that Nikke's have a proclivity for barging into my room at all hours. Just as I'm starting... Relax, someone will barge in and get me involved in this or that, so I had to do something about it. So today, I got up extra early and put a note on my door, saying that no one is here. As a result, no one has come to disturb me yet. After all, when you got time off, you should have a chance to kick back and relax. Zing. Blossom? Flora? You seem a little startled. Is something wrong? Did you not see the note on my door? Note? You mean this? Flora hands me a piece of paper. I'm not in at the moment, please come back later. Strange, isn't it? Here you are, in the commander's room. Yet, there's a note saying that you're elsewhere. Someone may be impersonating you as a prank. I'll have to track down the culprit. You don't have to go through all that. If you say so. Anyway, what is it this time? Is this to win again? Lobelia certainly does keep us on our toes with her unpredictable behavior. But I'm actually here for a different reason this time. Flora proceeds to explain everything that's happened. At one point she wanted to shut down the garden, and now she wants to open it up to the public? It must be a real headache dealing with her. Indeed, it can be. But her wanting to open up the garden also means that she's finally acknowledged us in some fashion. So in that sense, I consider it fortunate. So what is it that you need me to do? Should I help you with the festival preparation? Well, that's not why I came here. The festival preparations are going smoothly. Having Happy Zoo help us with the last time the garden opened worked out nicely, and they've kindly offered to lend us a hand again. However, what is it? I'm worried about Trina. Blossom, how much do you know about Trina? Trina of the Botanical Garden Squad. She tends to the trees and the arboretum. So strong is her desire to be one with nature, she often ends up removing her clothes. Where's Trina now? At this point, she's probably tending to the trees along the cherry blossom path. That place is crowded with people. Indeed it is. I'm not sure if you're aware, Blossom, but Trina takes off her clothes whenever she feels confined by them. This isn't an issue when she's inside the garden, but it's a different story when she's outside. I usually follow her around and make sure she doesn't do anything too scandalous. But I'm too busy preparing for the festival now, and don't have time to keep an eye on her. Would you be able to look after her in my place? Alright. For some reason, it feels like something is going to happen during Spring Festa. Actually, scratch that. Something always happens when I'm supposed to be on holiday. I'm not in at the moment, so please come back later. I crumpled up the note and get up from my seat. Suppose I should get going. Gloria said she's at the cherry blossom path. Zing. Boss! I've got a favor to ask you. Now may not be the best time. Oh, really? I gotta head toward Cherry Blossom Path. What? Did I just hear you right? I'm so touched, boss. Huh? I didn't even tell you what it was I wanted, and you guessed it straight away. All that time working with you was worth it. We gotten to the level where words aren't even needed to understand each other. Nikke, I'll leave everything to you. I'll see you later. Wait. What is it? What is this favor you keep talking about? I was going to ask you to keep watch over Leader. Leader? Yeah. She's supposed to be on vacation now, but she's going around making things for people instead. I've never known her to take a moment's rest in my life. No matter what the circumstances are, she's always on the clock. So it's not exactly surprising that she's working during her vacation time. In many ways, I do find it remarkable. But even so, a vacation is a vacation for a reason. When it is time to rest, you ought to do just that. So why did you teach Leader how to kick back? You might teach her how to relax? That's right. She should be taking a walk among the cherry blossoms. She said she wanted to see them before the festival arrives. Festival crowds arrive. Okay, I was gonna go there anyway. I'll meet up with her. Thank you. Oh, and there's something else I have to tell you. What's that? I'm going to be taking on my first solo assignment. I'll be constructing all the facilities for the Spring Festa. I'm going to do my best to uphold Nighty Tool's reputation. So be sure to come to the festival to see my handiwork. I'll be reading for you. Alright, I better get going. Just as Senti's about to leave, she abruptly snatched a crumpled note from my hand. The rest goes into the trash bin. Maintaining a clean work environment is something I learned from Leader. She proceeds to toss the note into the trash for me. The symbolism of that. Soon after, Cherry Blossom Path. Fortunately, there aren't many people around. I sit upon my arrival, I'm greeted by two figures. I feel like I'm suffocating. Trina twisting and fidgeting in discomfort. Don't be absurd. And Leader, who's standing in front of Tina and scolding her. Guess she was like, going strip, and then leader's like, hell no. You ain't doing that. Not in front of me.
花の力をお見せいたしましょう。まだまだ戦えます。リロードするのね。すぐに終わらせますね。守ることができてよかったです。
All right. That day, the petals I let fly from the hill led me to the research lab. Working in the lab with Rin, the days passed quickly. Without saying who was first, we would both climb the hill together, and we looked up at the sky. By the time the sun had set, Rin would ask, "How was your day today?" The days passed one after another, and before we knew it, 5 years had passed. One day we sat on the hill, as always, watching the sun go down. How was your day today? Nothing special, another ordinary day. How about you, Rin? Me? Same as usual. Conducting some research in the lab. Taking care of the little ones. In other words, a very special day. By the way, speaking of the lab, have you ever considered officially joining Botanical Garden? You could take your plant research to the next level. I could take you on as my pupil. That's okay, thanks. What do you mean? I just don't know what the point would be. It's not like researching plants will help with reclaiming the surface. Not that I'm saying what you're doing is a bad thing. I know what you mean. No point, huh? To mark the arrival of spring, I was thinking of holding a festival called Festival of Harmony. I want to exhibit flowers in remembrance of those who couldn't make it to the Ark during the first invasion. If it's not too much of an imposition, would you be willing to help me with the preparations? I never thought I'd be asked to help with another festival. I've helped with a spring festa before. In fact, this will be the third time I've lent a hand for a festival. Hey, are you cheering me on? Thanks. But you don't have to do that. Flora put me in charge of managing the cherry blossom path. There isn't much to it, considering that the trees don't require much intervention. They'll never wither. With a bitter smile, Trina's gaze drifts toward the towering cherry blossom tree in the distance. The tree stands atop a hill, lush blossoms painting the sky pink. So suffocating. Faced with such breathtaking beauty, Trina collapses to the ground. Can't breathe. Her breathing grows ragged, and she keeps repeating the same sentence over and over. Can't breathe. At some point, can't breathe. In a desperate attempt to break free from the illusion she created for herself. Breathe. In order to get closer to nature. Can't breathe. Trina begins to tear off her clothes. Can't breathe. At the same time, what in the world are you doing? Things just don't spawn fast enough. The moment I joined the new squad, I was thrown headlong into intensive training. By the time it was over, my body felt like it was falling apart at the seams. Nevertheless, I continued to climb up the hill. As I gazed down on the city, I heard Josh's voice. What are you doing over here? It's almost dinner time. We got to make sure to be on time, alright? Before I knew it, there was only 1 week left until deployment. That day as well, I was up on the hill, looking down at the city. I knew I'd find you here. You came here in an awful hurry. That's pretty rich coming from someone who's always running late. We're having one final get-together before heading up to the surface. Don't you remember? Everyone kept asking me to come get you. How many times are you gonna make me beg you to be on time? Come on. Pretend to humor this pitiful commander's request, will you? At least let me keep my dignity in front of the other squad members. So, do you still have concerns about going up to the surface? I was never worried. Nice try. I've seen you praying up here every day. Don't worry too much. Nothing will happen. We all come back safely. And when we do, we'll celebrate your first deployment on the surface. Right, I'm sure we will. Alright, I suppose we can skip training for one day tomorrow. What are you talking about? Have you heard about the Festival of Harmony, by any chance? It starts tomorrow. If you're up for it, how about we all go, the entire squad? Was that really 15 years ago? Alright. Sorry for stopping in the middle of our work. Let's continue. Ugh. I'm tired. All I did was make a few things on the way here, and I'm already pooped. I'm not as young as I once was. I ought to let Senti take over soon. I hope she's doing alright, without me. You're right. I'll stop worrying. Should focus on where we should be holding the party for her. It's important to celebrate your big debut. As Leader mutters caustically to herself, she catches sight of a massive cherry tree in the distance. Is that the everlasting Sakura? The tree stands atop a hill, its lush blossoms painting the sky pink. Standing before such a rapturous beauty, Leader is rendered speechless. It's magnificent. At that moment, she spots a strange figure. Hold on, is that... Underneath the cherry tree, something that shouldn't be there is dangling from the branches. What in the world are you doing? Leader fills me in on what happened back at the Cherry Blossom Pass. I was taking a walk with Bolt and noticed something in the distance, dangling from the branches of the tree. I wondered what it was, and it turns out it was Trina tending to the tree in a state of undress. Naturally, I couldn't leave her like that, so I raised my voice at her. I knew this would happen. Son, please. I can't go on like this. Maybe you should lay off her for a moment, Leader. Trina really seems to be in physical pain. Well, since you're here, Greenhorn, things should be better. Thank you. Just use a bit of discretion next time you get undressed. Alright. Clyde. What are you doing? Leader quickly covers my eyes. But didn't you say it was okay since Sun was here? That's not what I meant. If anything, his being here makes it worse. Oh really? Stop being ridiculous. I can't stand here and allow you to waltz around naked. I'm going to dedicate my time to making my time off making sure you become a respectable person. Me? But I'm a Nikke. That's not what I meant. Leader resumes her lecture. Senti did ask me to help out, so I suppose I can't let things continue on as they are. Once the commotion settles down, the three of us start walking along the cherry blossom path. I never noticed the cherry blossoms when I was building this path. Now that they're in full bloom, they really are breathtaking. Everyone's going to love them once the festival begins. Wait, did you say that you built this path? Yes. Trina and I both constructed it. It feels like yesterday that Trina came to me asking if I could help build this path, which would be the stage for the Festival of Harmony. But in reality, it's been years. Time sure does have a way of slipping from you. That's right. I certainly wouldn't mind if it slowed down a little. That's why I'm always going on about this and that. We're no spring chickens anymore. We may be Nikke's, but even we'll expire someday. So we have to make the most of the time we have left. And that includes not stripping to the buff anywhere we please. Where did this all come from anyway? We weren't like this before. I'm not so sure. Anyway, it's kind of funny for one veteran to be lecturing another. But since I've started, I might as well add one more thing. I want you to be remembered the right way, Trina. As a kind Nikke who cared passionately for others. And helped create a place where people could come and feel happy seeing these flowers. You've got to live life to the fullest. And leave behind proof that we existed. That way, when our time is up, the world and the people around us will remember us honorably. Shouldn't you complete your story for those who we leave behind? For the ones we leave behind. Do you think there's any meaning to that? Of course there is. If you die without leaving a mark of any kind, how can you ever prove what kind of person you were? Instead, you'll become the subject of all kinds of rumors until you're eventually forgotten. That's why we have to work hard to live life to the fullest and leave behind proof that we lived. The leader finishes her speech. The massive cherry tree on the hill comes into the view. It's been a while since I saw this. You see it last festival? Yes, and I thought the same thing back then. It's beautiful. The towering cherry tree seems to fill the entire sky with its overwhelming presence. As I gaze upon the cherry blossom in full bloom, memories of the previous festival surface. Many people will probably come to see it again this year. We'll need plenty of facilities to accommodate the large crowds. I wonder if Senti will be able to handle it on her own. I hope she doesn't make something strange again. Senti will be fine. You've done a wonderful job teaching her. I want her to be more than fine. Quietly gazing at the cherry tree, leader takes out a pocket watch. Before my time is up, I want Senti to surpass me. Only then will I be able to pass this watch on to her. What's the significance of that watch? Let's just say, it's proof that I've lived. Ever since I started working at Mighty Tools, I've always kept this watch on me. If you're talking about passing down that watch, do you mean... Yes, I'll be stepping down from this job, retiring. Anyway, Trina's been suspiciously quiet. You're not taking your clothes off, aren't you? Are you okay? I feel like I'm suffocating. Thud. What's wrong? I'm fine. Just go back. The everlasting Sakura doesn't need any care. It's just an illusion. It's fine to head back. Okay, we don't want you overexerting yourself. Bring her. I'll carry Trina. Can you take care of Volt? Sure. I realize you're feeling uncomfortable, Trina, but lean on me. Thank you. It's time like this where I wish I was taller. Alright, let's go. With Trina leaning on her, leader leaves the cherry blossom path. Even though she says she was fine, Trina's expression when she glanced at the cherry tree bothers me. Almost as if there was a sense of being sick and tired of something. Are you feeling any better? Yes, thank you for taking care of me. Glad to hear you're better. What's on your mind, Greenhorn? You seemed to be off in the world the entire way here. You and Trina made the cherry blossom path together, right? Right. And what about the cherry tree? The cherry tree? I don't understand what you mean. I heard before the cherry tree from the surface that the cherry tree from the surface, the everlasting Sakura, has lifespan artificially extended. That's why it's been able to survive on the Ark all these years. Could the person who carried out those measures be... They relay the story I heard from Sakura. Trina's body started to tremble. As expected, the person who made this everlasting Sakura is none other than... That's right. Everlasting Sakura is one of my failed creations. Oh, there's no story between those 2 points. That reminds me. What else? Oh, Hell Divers. Oh, the Helldivers
私の勝利じゃ。
board game that came out. Preparing for a festival was much harder than I thought it'd be. By the time I came to my senses, it was already the last day of the festival. After finally finishing the last order of business, I dragged my exhausted body up the hill. When I got to the top, there you are. Rin was waiting for me as usual. How was your day today? I've been so busy preparing for the festival, I think most everything's done now. Ah, I see. Would you like to sit here for a moment? As I sat down, Rin pointed to the town below us. You asked me before, what's the point of plant research was? Have you still not come up with an answer? Street below were filled with smiling attendees of the Festival of Harmony, taking in the flowers and the trees. Rena. Plant research may not directly help in reclaiming the surface, that much is true. Still, if it affords us a chance to witness this sight currently before us, for me that alone is reason enough. By the way, did you know the people who came to the festival are exchanging items they brought from the surface? In the spirit of that, I brought something for you. I didn't have anything I brought from the surface, so I thought I'd simply give you what's most precious to me. Ta-da! Handed me a small key. The garden key. Garden key? Yep. I want to see more scenes like this in the future. So I made a garden. My wish is that when people are looking at the flowers and trees, they'll forget their worries for a moment. I'm pouring that wish and my hope into that garden. Right now, it's just filled with saplings, so it doesn't look like much. But once they all grow, you'll be amazed. You should come and visit when you got the time. Thank you. I didn't prepare anything for you. It's fine. You've already given me plenty. I have? Yeah, I'm looking down at it right now. Miriam spoke. She gazed down at the town and smiled radiantly. Looking at her beaming, I found myself wishing for something. I wished that I could see this kind of scenery and look upon more bright smiles similar to hers. Anytime, anywhere. Hey, Rin. Yeah? I want to join Botanical Garden. So you finally come around to the idea. Then you need to make a promise to me, alright? What is it? Never stop treasuring the plants. If you do that, you'll do right by the ones you're seeing today and honor them. Pretty simple, right? A long time ago, there was someone who led me to Botanical Garden. At that time, Rin practically dragged me to the Festival of Harmony, kicking and screaming. It goes by a different name now, Spring Festa. That day, I saw entire crowds of people forget all their worries while looking at the flora. After seeing Rin smile for the first time since she arrived in the Ark, I made up my mind. I decided to follow Rin's suggestion and resolved to research plants at Botanical Garden. And that's why you made the Everlasting Sakura. I wanted people to be able to see flowers and trees anywhere, anytime. That way, whenever they wanted to forget their worries, they could have easy access to nature. Then I said you succeeded. Thanks to your research, trees are a common sight in the Ark. After years of research, the day finally came when the Everlasting Sakura bloomed. The first person I went to see was Rin. That's when I realized for the first time, unlike we had become a Nikke, for Rin, who had chosen her life as a human, time has passed much more quickly. In the end, Rin never got to see the Everlasting Sakura. My wish was nothing but a delusion. Looking back on it now, it's so obvious. All I wanted was to look upon her bright, pure smile. But I attempted to bring it about with illusions. It's a bit of a contradiction, isn't it? I'm sorry. I know I'm a downer. Oh, I need to stop by the garden before it gets too late. I was told to notify them once we're finished renovating the cherry blossom path. Soon after, we came to the garden to see Flora. However, something didn't feel quite right. Am I the one who finds this strange? No, I feel it too. Aren't there still a few more days until the festival? Yeah, as far as I know. And why are there so many people here? The festival hasn't even begun, and the garden is crammed full of Nikkes.
ご心配なく、あなたは私が守りますわ。少しだけ耐えてください。挑戦します。勝ったからおやつくれますよね。
We got like four more. How many times must I tell you? You can't be late. Don't blame me if you end up getting chewed out by the superiors. Anyway, how are you finding the festival of harmony? It's nice. I didn't realize how long it's been since I let go and relax. Well, we all need days off. If you only ever hurl yourself forward and fixate on the distant future, you'll get exhausted pretty quickly. We also never know when our time is up. So it'd be a real shame to miss out on the moments like this, don't you think? Then I looked down at the festival, which was in full swing. From up on the hill, the view of the Ark, and the sight of the people blending in with flowers and trees, was truly beautiful. You know what I like so much about this festival? Whenever I'm looking at the greenery, all my worries melt away. When we go up to the surface, we'll get to see even more beautiful plants. Wait, more beautiful plant life than today. I can't wait. I'm excited too. Still, I don't think I'll ever forget what I'm seeing here today. Here, take this. Why are you giving me this? Didn't you know? On the last day of the Festival of Harmony, people exchange things that are precious to them. I already gave gifts to the others. It'd hardly be fair to exclude you. That's a pocket watch I used to use. It may look a little worse for wear, but it tells the time perfectly. You can use that to check the time, so now you won't have any excuses for being late. Didn't we agree to have a nice meal once we got back from the surface? You're the guest of honor, and we're celebrating a successful first deployment on the surface, so we can't have you being late to the party. This time, let's try to be punctual. I'll try. I should give you something too. It's fine. If you find something good the next time you're on the surface, you can give it to me. I'm very sure that, it didn't go well on the surface. There has been lost in thought ever since we entered the garden. Then Nikki's quietly enjoying the flowers. Seemed to have her reminiscing about old times. She's right. Sometimes moments like this are necessary. Everyone seems so at peace. Anyway, we should try and find Flora. But how are we going to find Flora amongst all these Nikkes? Trainer, what brings you here? It's good timing. Huh? Do you know where Flora is? Flora? I haven't seen her in a while. Not after all these visitors suddenly arrived. I see. I do remember her scent, though, so I can try and track her down for you. That'd be wonderful. Thank you. Well, don't you need to take care of the animals at the shelter? I know you've been helping Flora for the past few days. Guillotine is taking care of our furry friends, so it's fine. She also brought along someone named Maiden to help her. Anywho, give me just a minute. I'll go find Flora for you. Biscuit runs off to the other side of the garden. Even for Biscuit, finding Flora among so many Nikkes will surely take some time. Wait, why don't I introduce you to the little ones? Soon after. What flower is this? This is one that's called lilac. Whenever spring comes, it breaks into a big grin like this. Isn't it pretty? Peter and Trina are absorbed in the flowers. The more I look around the garden, the more I can feel how each plant is being conscientiously cared for. That's right. The plants here are carefully tended to maintain their natural form. Their temperature, the humidity, the soil, and the sunlight. Everything is carefully monitored and adjusted according to their specific needs. The fact they're tended to with such loving care is why the plants here are able to bring out smiles in people. Because they've been allowed to remain in their natural state. Say, where do I need to go to see the Arboretum? you manage? Well, the Arboretum will remain closed to the public. Isn't that right, Trina? Yes, that's right. It's not going to be opened? Why is that? So that Rin can rest. That's all I can say. I heard the news. You finished renovating the cherry blossom path. Yeah, so is there anything I can help with in the garden? Sorry, what did you say, Lilac? Oh my, I forgot all about that. And it's terribly important. Trina, I have one more favor to ask you. What's that? Before I ask, I should explain to you why the garden is so crowded right now. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. What do you mean? I thought of something while you're preparing for the festival. I wanted Nikkies who worked so hard every day to be able to come to the festival and rest. So I made special invitations for them. But I actually wrote the wrong date on them. And that's why the garden is so crowded. Exactly. It's hard to imagine someone like you making such a simple mistake. No one's perfect. Should I tell everyone that the dates were incorrect? I think it's too late for that. True. You can't send everyone back after they came all this way. Precisely. So just for today, I was thinking of holding a festival for Nikkies. Well, a festival just for Nikkies. That's not a bad idea. Which brings me to my request. Hands over a stack of pamphlets. In order for the guests to fully enjoy the festival, could you help distribute these Spring Festa pamphlets? This year's Spring Festa will feature a unique promotional event. Attendees will take these pamphlets and get a stamp when they head to specific locations. The garden, the spring fair, the cherry trees brought from the surface. To help make this process easier, I'd like you to place these pamphlets at key locations along the route. The garden has already been covered, so if you could take care of the other two spots, that'd be great. Following Flora's request, we head toward the entrance of the cherry blossom path for the spring fair. Clicked too soon. Where the spring fair was taking place. The area is already crowded with Nikkies who have received invitations. Rookie. Good timing. One second. Ban that guy and then report him.